Alright, welcome. This is an introduction to SOH. So to understand SOH, you first need to understand what the sides of a right triangle are called when given the angle. So in this first triangle up top, we have an angle theta and a right triangle. So usually I start off with denoting what the hypotenuse is. And the hypotenuse is always opposite of 90 degrees. And then I would go for the opposite side, which is opposite of theta. And then we have the adjacent side, which is right next to theta. All right, then let's go down to the bottom one, where the angle is flipped. Looking at it, start off, hypotenuse stays the same. The opposite side is flipped now, though. So you have to put the bottom, then the adjacent side is right next to it. Now we can talk about what SOH even means. All SOH is acronyms. So SOH just means sine of theta is equal to the ratio of opposite over hypotenuse. Then CAH, cosine theta, equals the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And TOA is just tangent theta equals the opposite over adjacent. It's important to note that the sine function itself does not give you the degrees or radians. You have to use the inverse of it. So the inverse of sine is sine with a -1 or arcsin. These mean the exact same thing. And for cosine, all it is cosine with -1, tangent, tan with -1, and the arcs too. It's not too hard to understand. The biggest takeaway here is you have to know what the sides of a right triangle are called when given an angle. Alright, so we have a problem here where we have to solve for theta. Okay, so we have to use solve for this. So let's write out the relationship. Sine theta equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. So we're given that the hypotenuse is 10 and the opposite side is 8. So sine theta equals 8 over 10. Now we take the inverse of sine in order to get the degrees. So inverse sine of sine theta equals the inverse sine of 8 over 10. Now the signs cancel out on the left side, so it's left with theta equals inverse sine of 8 over 10, or it is 53.13 degrees approximately. Make sure your calculator is in degrees and not radians. We will go over radians later. I'm also rounding to 2 decimals at the moment, but you can round to whatever you wish. Okay, in this next example, we have adjacent side of 7 and hypotenuse of 13. So knowing that, we're going to have to use CAH, or cosine. So let's start the relationship. cosine theta equals the adjacent side over the hypotenuse side. So cosine theta equals 7 over 13. We take the inverse now. We have theta is equal to cosine inverse of 7 over 13, which is approximately 57.42 degrees. All right, for our final example, we have a right triangle with a opposite side of 4 and adjacent side of 3. Hypotenuse is not known, so we have to solve for theta using TOA, or slash tangent. So for TOA, it is tangent theta is equal to opposite or adjacent. Tan theta equals 4 over 3. Take the inverse now. Theta is equal to the inverse of tangent, 4 over 3, or approximately 53.13 degrees.